You're listening to another 94.5 KFM podcast. Size does count. That's why we're the biggest breakfast show in the Western Cape. It's KFM Breakfast with Ryan O'Connor.
94.5 KFM.
There's been so much hype about it. We've been talking about it non-stop. It's time for What's Hot or Not, brought to you by Cubana. Come see and be seen. And we are so excited this morning. In actual fact, my eyes lit up on Wednesday when I got confirmation that we were chatting to him this morning. The film's lead actor, Sharlto Copley, joins us live for What's Hot or Not. The film I'm talking about is District 9, and Sharlto's with us this morning. Good morning.
Morning. How's it going?
Lekker, unbelievable. Welcome to the Cape's biggest breakfast show. It's good to have you on the show this morning. Now, tell us a little bit about District 9. How did you get involved, first of all, with a project that was District 9?
Well, it's a sort of a strange story, man. I normally work behind the scenes in the film industry, and my friend Neil Blomkamp, who directed the film, has known me. You know, we've known each other for many years, and he knew that I always did accents and I always did sort of characters just for fun in my life. And I was working as a producer for him on a test that he was doing for District 9. And he said to me, you know, I've got this idea for this Afrikaans bureaucratic character. Why don't you just play him? It was almost like you just sort of do it for now. And sort of we both, I guess, kind of thought that we would get a sort of real actor later. Then Neil said, you know, when he saw that footage coming back, and it was just an improvised thing where this Vickers van der Merwe character just kind of came to life literally on camera. We shot 2 or 3 hours of sort of improvised footage, and Neil said, hey, maybe this is Charles should actually be the guy, and then showed that to Peter Jackson, and Peter Jackson said, yes, go for it, and that made it happen.
Sure. Now, is this your first major feature film? Have you done any other major film work before? I know you mentioned the behind the scenes. For those that don't know, I had a little bit of a look at your history, and you were instrumental in helping setting up one of our channels here in South Africa that we get. I know that work you've done behind the scenes, but in terms of being in front of the camera, is this the biggest?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I wasn't an actor. I wasn't pursuing acting. But as I say, I was very comfortable with. It was just kind of, I suppose, in my personality that I used to do different accents, and I love accents and I love different characters.
Yeah. Now, those who haven't managed to read reports or see the trailer, and this is interesting because you and I were talking about the trailer off air. The film itself, often in these trailers, you get to watch them and you think, there we go, they've given away the entire movie in the space of 40 or 50 seconds. Not so in the case of District 9.
It's been amazing. Neil and Peter and Sony, who marketed the film incredibly with this massive kind of viral marketing campaign in the United States, they went for that. They went for the sort of more unusual take of just creating a lot of mystery. I mean, the campaign in America had, you know, on bus stops, it would be like buses for humans only, no aliens allowed on toilets, and so they created this incredible campaign with a lot of mystery around it, and then even in the trailer decided not to give the film away, which was a great relief.
Now listen, how are you handling this at the moment? The past couple of weeks, how have they been? Are you getting much sleep?
No, I'm not getting much sleep. It's a lot of traveling. We did 11 or 12 cities in America, and in about 3 weeks. So you're traveling all the time, but it's very surreal, man. I haven't really had time to catch my breath, to be honest, and just process everything. It happens very, very quickly. Yeah. And the film was way more successful than we were planning, very, very fast. So I'm sort of in that whole Hollywood buzz machine now, where they sort of whisk you everywhere, and there's a million people around you at all times, and it's great. I mean, I'm very, very, very grateful for it, but it's also a pretty intense experience.
Sharlto Copley with us this morning. The lead actor plays Vickers van der Merwe in District 9. It hits the big screen real soon. He's with us till 8:30 this morning. Let's take a break and go back to music. Enrique and Ciara, it's Taking Back My Love on the Cape's #1 hit music station. Closer towards 8:30. I'm so excited about this film. Smashed box office expectations in America last weekend and roll on South Africa.
Size does count. That's why we're the biggest breakfast show in the Western Cape. It's KFM Breakfast with Ryan O'Connor.
94.5 KFM.
So kind of smackdown for the weekend coming up before 9 o'clock. Cubana's What's Hot or Not. Steaming hot this morning and really is the talk of town. District 9, the lead actor who plays Vickers van der Merwe, Sharlto Copley, joins us on the breakfast show this morning to chat about District 9. The premiere of that movie in Joburg a couple of nights ago. It officially opens in South Africa next Friday. What kind of response are you expecting, or has the local audiences kind of given to this film?
Well, it was interesting because we'd watched the movie several times overseas with a range of audiences, and I have to say, I was most nervous watching it with the South African audience because obviously the film is so South African. They're really going to see the little nuances and things in a different way, and very possibly be more critical of it in both sort of positive and negative ways. So it was just been amazing. It's been overwhelming. The event was way bigger than we were imagining. You know, the guys at Stekenicor and working with Sony just put on the biggest sort of this incredible Hollywood style spectacle, which we certainly weren't expecting. So and then just the reaction from the audience has been sort of overwhelmingly positive, as it seems to be everywhere.
Is it weird? Do you sit there watching the movie and then you're with one eye on the movie, you got another eye on the people sitting around you, because you know something's coming up in the movie, you know there's a certain part that's going to happen, and at the same time you've got that eye on the crowd, trying to see, are they going to react the right way this time round when this action scene happens, or when this line is about to come up? You're kind of looking with one eye, gauging the audience's response. Is that the case when you're in the theatre?
It is. I'm not really. I never found that I was sort of looking at the audience. You know, the American audiences are incredibly vocal in cinemas, just as a general rule on any movie. So, with this film, people literally in America, they shout, they clap, they cheer. It was pretty overwhelming. South Africa was an interesting experience just because generally we're not as vocal, and certainly the audience I was watching it here with weren't until afterwards, where everybody sort of went a little bit crazy. So we sort of had the police whisking us out of the place. It was bizarre.
Crazy. Now listen, there's reports that there's enough material from District 9 for a sequel, and apparently talks are already taking place. Now I know you can't possibly say too much about it, but now big question mark, a sequel?
It's definitely something we'd love to do, and the film's made money, so it seems like it would happen. I know Neil wants to. I would love to. I had an incredible time. I got to improvise all my dialogue with a very unique and different character, and I think there's a lot more to offer in this world. Certainly not from footage that we've already shot, but either a prequel or a sequel would be amazing to do.
Okay, now final question: do you believe in aliens?
I do. I totally do, man. I think the universe goes on forever. It's quite that's a long way.
Yeah.
So I think it's inevitable.
There's got to be some form of intelligence.
There's got to be something. You know, there's got to be life. How intelligent it is, I don't know. There's got to be. You know what I mean? There's got to be grass out there growing somewhere at least. Just give me a planet with grass.
Yeah. You and half of Observatory in Capetown are going, yes, please.
Bring the grass, mos, man.
Bring the grass, my bro.
Bring it, my bro.
Before we go, we do this with all our VIP guests. We run through a list of hot or not. You just have to say if it's hot or if it's not. So I'll run through just...
Yeah, this sounds like something out of Bruno, man. This is it, darling. Is it hot or not?
Is it hot or not?
Hot?
Okay, Cape Town?
That's hot, man.
Absolutely. Rain?
I think that's hot too. I like rain.
Transformers?
I have to work in Hollywood now. I plead the fifth.
E.T.
Hot.
Okay, and lastly, we always ask our guests, this is a final question. Socks in bed, hot or not?
It depends on the girl who's wearing them.
Sharlto Copley, thanks a million for being a great sport and a great guest on our show this morning. All the best for the rolling success that is District 9, and you really have done South Africa proud on the global stage that is Hollywood as well. Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on the show.